Hello, I'm Ann Pickle, and I am asking for your vote for Criminal District Attorney of Jasper County. If you have not watched my first video, I invite you to do so now. You might find it helpful in understanding the information you are about to hear. After an arrest, bail is set by a Justice of the Peace during an initial arraignment process at the county jail. Under Texas law, bail is to be set sufficiently high to assure appearance in court, but is not to be used as an instrument of oppression. In setting the bond amount, the judge or magistrate may consider the nature of the offense, the circumstances under which it was committed, and the future safety of the victim of the alleged offense and the safety of the community. After an arrest, the law enforcement agency who made the arrest brings the case to the district attorney's office for prosecution. Several law enforcement agencies bring cases to the district attorney's office for prosecution. These agencies include, but are not limited to, the Sheriff's Office, the City Police Departments, the Department of Public Safety, and Parks and Wildlife. These cases are then divided into two categories, felonies and misdemeanors. Felony cases are prosecuted in the district court, while misdemeanor cases are prosecuted in the county court. Class C misdemeanors, which include traffic tickets, are typically prosecuted in the Justice of the Peace courts. All Jasper County judges and justices of the peace are elected by you, the citizens of Jasper County. Another important part of the criminal justice system is the juvenile system. Under Texas law, rehabilitation of juvenile offenders is the primary goal. The district attorney must therefore seek to balance the goals of community safety with the rehabilitation of today's youth. These cases are initially processed through the Juvenile Probation Office and are then brought to the District Attorney's Office for prosecution in collaboration with the Juvenile Probation Department. Disposition of juvenile cases can include many options, ranging from supervision and community service to placement in rehabilitative programs to sentencing to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. The involvement of a parent or guardian and an attorney for the juvenile is required. When cases are turned into the DA's office, immediate contact should be made with the victim to determine or confirm restitution owed and the need for available compensation offered through the Texas Attorney General's office. Victims must also be informed about court settings and their right to make a victim's impact statement. Felony cases are reviewed by the district attorney and the DA's investigator prior to presentation to the grand jury. After indictment, unless the defendant is no-billed, a date is set for arraignment before a district judge. There the defendant formally enters a plea of guilty or not guilty, and if the defendant is indigent, a court-appointed attorney will be provided. Misdemeanor cases are not required to be presented to grand jury. Instead, the case is initiated in the court system with the filing of a complaint signed by a law enforcement officer and a document called an information that is signed by the district attorney or an assistant district attorney. The next step is the docket call. At this stage, and even before, the discovery process begins. Texas law mandates that the district attorney has a duty to disclose to any defendant any and all exculpatory and mitigating evidence and information. Plea negotiations also take place during this stage. There are various options for disposition of a criminal case. Possible dispositions or punishment for felony cases range from probation, which may include placement in facilities providing drug rehabilitation programs, to sentencing to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Possible dispositions for misdemeanor cases range from payment of a fine and court costs to probation, community supervision, or sentencing to the county jail. If a case is not resolved through plea negotiations, it is set for trial. Criminal trials are bifurcated, meaning that there are two phases of the trial. The purpose of the first phase is for the jury to determine whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. If the defendant is found guilty, then the case moves to the second phase. The purpose of the second phase is for the judge or jury to determine what the punishment should be. During trial and at all stages of the process, the burden of proof rests on the state. Defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof in a criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a stringent burden. Lady Justice is the image of our criminal justice system. As we see, she is blindfolded. In our system, justice is blind, meaning that everyone is and should be treated equally. One element of my platform is that justice will be defined by state and federal law only, not by social status, race, gender, or any type of social justice measure. As we also see, she is holding scales, the scales of justice. When we say a defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty, we mean the scales are initially balanced. To convict, the state is required to tip the scales beyond a reasonable doubt. This is accomplished through the presentation of evidence, which ultimately happens in the courtroom, but begins with the hard work of law enforcement agencies. Another element of my platform is that law enforcement will be honored, respected, and partnered with to ensure prosecution. In every crime, there is a victim. Whether the victim is a child, the family of a murder victim, a victim of theft, or any other type of victim, they must have a voice in the process. They must be informed of their rights, and they must be notified of court settings and parole hearings. Victims must be treated with dignity and respect. Another element of my platform is this: victims of crime will have a greater voice and will be kept informed of case activity in court settings. In many cases, the victim is the state of Texas. That means you and me, the citizens of Jasper County. What I am referring to is the drug cases that have had a devastating effect on our community. Our law enforcement officers are working hard and putting their lives at risk to get drug offenders off the streets and behind bars. I feel very strongly that a firm and unequivocal message must be sent. We are not going to tolerate drug crimes in Jasper County. Another element of my platform is that prosecution of drug-related crimes will be a priority. The way that we send the message is simple: prosecution to the fullest extent of the law through regular and systematic felony and misdemeanor trials. Successful trials require thorough preparation. Thorough preparation requires communication and cooperation between the prosecution and law enforcement and victims. These values have enabled me, on behalf of the state of Texas, to secure significant sentences in my work as Assistant District Attorney. Thank you for watching. It's important to me to explain what I am asking you to elect me to do. It's equally important to me for you to understand how and where our criminal justice system works. Transparency and accountability are fundamental to our justice system. I am a proud American, Texan, and a fourth-generation resident of Jasper County. Serving Jasper County as your criminal district attorney would be my greatest honor and privilege. Thank you.